I literally say.
That's the special one for
I literally say, here's a special one just for you guys on Dota TV real quick. I literally say in the beginning of the game, oh, I think Evil Genius is just countering LGD's draft, but I think LGD's draft is right in their wheelhouse, and LGD's just a better team, so they're gonna win. And all EG bias.
Hashtag bias. Hashtag bias. All right, we're gonna actually start up on the Twitch stream as well.
5 seconds remaining.
Hello everybody and welcome back. It is Manila Major 2016 LGD going up against Evil Geniuses EG with a 1-game lead currently over LGD after what was such an obvious easy game for EG, don't you say, capitalist?
Oh yeah, Evil Geniuses, America, USA, USA. Yeah. No, I was actually rather surprised by that game one. Like I said in the beginning of game one, I was rather pessimistic about EG just because I didn't expect Mineski to step up. So when I saw that it was a tighter series, I thought that was because Evil Geniuses was playing bad. But that game one definitely didn't show it. Their drafting was rather good, but LGD just had a really good team fight and very meta draft. Yeah. And I thought combined with the fact that LGD is just the better team, that they would just out execute and be able to close out the game. But
though rests on the fact that pick off which they got when their first awkward reveal came. When you look for a first awkward reveal, what do you normally get? Oh, I get a pick inside of a lane. That's what comes from it. But you get the initial kill onto Xiaowe's Tidehunter, then you follow up onto the Phoenix, and then you're like, well, okay, these two heroes are down, plus there's no ultimate. Hell yes, we just take a rack so early on, and that it gave Bulbous so much room to maneuver as well.
Yeah, that was them being able to get that lane of racks may have actually been ultimately so early that may have been ultimately what secured them the game, right? Yep. Because if you look at that same scenario at mid, if that's just one lane of racks, LGD can still rather easily come back with that kind of lineup. But that was just a very close game that came down to initiation. Evil Geniuses just happened to find the right initiation. I say just happened to find because I think some of it was I think they got a little lucky sometimes in what happened in the team fights. But I think EG still played rather well, and LGD are going to have to be more careful in the draft this time around. They got pretty heavily countered. They had, for example, Tidehunter got destroyed in that game. They had both Queen of Pain Sonic Wave, Omni Slash, as well as Doom. Those are 3 big-time ultimates that all heavily target out the Tidehunter, and they repeatedly did what they needed to be able to take Tidehunter out, minimizing either good Ravage potentials or completely shutting it out entirely, and we wouldn't see a Ravage being used. And that was actually the way they killed Tidehunter underneath that tier 2 at the bottom lane. Once they did that, they all of a sudden were like, oh, we can go high ground, and took a lane of racks before 20 minutes. And that was obviously a huge boon to their strategy and allowed them to hold control for the next 20 minutes.
That was a wonderful speech, Cap.
Thank you.
Obviously, while you were doing that, I was talking to the IT guy who just ran in and gave us an extra box in case something blows up.
I do like to talk a lot, but sometimes my talking is for a reason.
So for people out there who are currently tuning in, just to double check it while we get ourselves a moment and everything's a little bit calm.
Yes.
How does the audio sound on both my mic as well as Capitalist mic? I'm talking primarily on the Twitch stream. Dota TV should be fine. Should be. So yeah, let us know how it is.
But we also don't care about you guys.
No, we care. I care. All right. I care. Sort of.
The difference is, Dota TV guys, you can't hate on
Toby
us.
too low and Cap too loud.
Toby too quiet.
You know what? We can change that. We can actually change
We
that.
have the technology.
Yes, we have. Holy. Okay, yeah, your gain is. Okay, yeah, that'll work. Let's turn you slightly down, me slightly up, and that should balance that. Is my hope.
Continue to give us as much feedback as possible.
According to the levels I keep seeing on the side, everything looks absolutely amazing. And I actually checked our audio before as well. The waveforms looked fine. So, yeah. All right. You're gonna be regretting this during team fights when you want to turn me up when I'm talking like this now.
Hey, Toby.
Hey, Cap.
It's game number 2, and
It's
Evil
game number
Geniuses in their first 2 picks have 2 ultimates that counter Tidehunter. This is kind of shaping up to the Evil Geniuses. They are a team that is known for Tidehunter as well as Enigma, and they clearly have identified it their way to be able to counter out the Tidehunter strategy. It's not, some teams will play like hyper aggressive, low cooldown, and they'll lose a Ravage team fight, but they'll immediately go again and force another team fight, win that one, take some objectives. It seems like Evil Geniuses play is to always have a straight up like ulti for ulti counter. So Doom is really good, Static Storm is really good because you can cleanse it off with the Kraken Shell. Obviously, like the burst pure damage last time of Sonic Wave as well as the physical damage of Omni Slash were really good ways to be able to deal with it as well. So good examples of how EG have again identified LGD's stronger points in their draft and are trying to counter it as such. They're also going to make sure there's no follow-up. They take away the Phoenix this time around and also take away the Dragonite, which has been a repeat.
It's the second time they banned that one. They banned it in the first game, I think for the same reason they were looking at it for this game. The fact that LGD would just have too much life. Like when you have that weave up and Dazzle's throwing out shadow waves all the time, then you've also got like the shallow graves there. Like LGD will be able to disengage, where EG, like you look at their lineup, the sustained physical damage, even with the Juggernaut. Like if Juggernaut doesn't have a really great start in that game number 1, like your sustained physical damage just isn't really there. And with a Puck pickup, looking for more control and more magical damage, they're not really that big on physical yet.
Puck does not have the greatest win rate in the world for the middle.
He's currently sitting at a 25% win rate off 8 picks.
Yeah, it's not great. So,
I would agree.
And LGD have actually instantly picked up the Earth Spirit, which is really good versus Puck. You have the early harassment potential of trying to roll in and such, but it's also the pseudo instant silence that comes out from the Earth Spirit that is really threatening. Just some really solid disables. So I like this choice by LGD combined with the Invoker. They still have really strong team fight, but this time around they have ways to put pressure early on, which is something that September does excel at. Lifestealer now for Evil Geniuses instead. The Puck Lifestealer combination is, I think, the only one of the only reasons you should be running Puck right now. I think it's like that maybe Lycan. It's combo. It has to combo with another core to work really well.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what that's going to be in a bit. LGD still believes that's actually going to be the same as it was in Game 1, a 4-position Doombringer.
Yeah.
Their lineup has a nice ability to rotate into the mid and work with the Invoker. Obviously, it's Earth Spirit, so that always works. But can you even stop the Doombringer? Fear was quite happy. Like, I know we're talking about like 5 minutes into Game 1. It's like, hey, so who do you think really has the better part of this map? And you just get like straight up, it's like, well, EG. Like they're running a jungle Iron Talon Doombringer. Like, how could you actually fail with this? It's not really possible.
It's pretty close to running having a regular lane matchup on all sides and then having a 4-position Beastmaster, right? Like Doom jungles really quickly. Not quite as fast as Enigma or Beastmaster, but it's close.
Lone Druid, the final one up, with Lifestealer also on his side. Means he doesn't have to worry about like just feeding Lifestealer. And LGD, like where's their sustained damage coming from? We're still looking for their 1 position, their primary core. The Ursa was taken out just because he worked so well up against like Life and Druid, so who else can take up this role?
This is okay. No. It's not surprising because the Earth Spirit as a 4 position. It's the same way you punish the Bounty Hunter, the early Bounty Hunter picks. Lycan.
Yeah. He better hope he doesn't get entangled all the time, glimpsed, and then locked inside of a wall or dream coiled. Or there's a lot of things which doesn't work well for a Lycan.
Okay, so
it's an offlane Lone Druid too.
When Bounty Hunter is picked up, it means you have a 4 position who's going to be, his greatest strength is roaming around the map and putting pressure, most specifically usually on the mid lane. But that does leave your safe lane a little bit worse for wear. But many offlaners are zoned out by a single support anyway, so it doesn't matter. But you'll see some teams teams are adapting to some of those pickups by always drafting themselves some sort of aggro dual lane. So earlier I saw like a Doom Darkseer picked up against an early Bounty Hunter, and I think that's a really good way to try and abuse that, because what it forces the 4 position to go back to the safe lane rather than putting pressure on the mid, and you're facing up against 2 heroes rather than 1, so your roam potential into that safe lane isn't nearly as strong. So here, Evil Geniuses are actually adapting a kind of similar strategy, where I believe they are going to be picking up the Lone Druid off lane, who is goes on, you're going to see more and more teams actually not pick up those 4 position roamers, just pick up either 4 positions that jungle really efficiently, so they can, even if it does come at a cost of the enemy offlaner getting a little bit more.
What?
Nice, that's cool. Yeah, you never seen this before?
I haven't seen this one yet.
Yeah, the River Vials.
It's electrified.
I haven't seen the Blood one, though.
The Blood one?
Yeah, the Blood. And that's when you get, like, level 1000 compendium. But yeah, to close, I think teams are going to be running more defensive tri-lanes or defensive dual lanes with an efficient jungler, because 4 positions, I think teams are figuring out how to punish the idea of the roaming 4 position. But we'll see. It is also up to Samael to make sure that he doesn't die more than once against this roam.
Well, we'll see how it all unfolds as we can check out our lane. So Bulba is the offlane, MMY as well as Aggressive is going to be the defensive dual lane there. Samael already initiated on, but he's just going to orb himself away to safety. So Sep, that roaming Earth Spirit, teaming up with Maybe. And then down the bottom lane is AUI's Lifestealer, PPD supporting him. And AUI is going to have absolutely no issue. Xiao Wei already abandoned. He's gone straight Iron Talon into the jungle. He just wants to find that early level before he'll head to bottom lane.
Yeah, I would do the same. You look at that lane as an offlaner, as an offlane Tide especially, and you go, I'm facing Lifestealer and Disruptor. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and jungle immediately. What's the point of giving first blood and then trying to jungle? So, this is something that has opened up to offlaners, obviously, because the strength of what Iron Talon does for you. This is why you're not seeing that many like Clockwork or Earthshaker off lanes, just because if you're going to do that, why not draft something that scales a little bit better and can just jungle from the beginning of the game?
Out of interest, how long does this electrification actually last?
I don't know. I think it was like 10 minutes.
Okay, because it seems pretty cool,
yeah.
But
you get 10 charges too. So this is like.
Oh, so he's actually decided to use it in this game?
Yeah.
Of all games?
Yeah.
While we're on second stream?
I mean, if you spent this much money, you probably have a number of different River Vials, because I think this is like, you had to have spent like $200 or something to get this far.
You win levels. A TI, I'm sure he's fine.
Yeah, I'm sure. Probably Valve just gave him like an extra like 10,000 in Steam cash for funsies or something.
It's like, can you please use our items? This is a good advertising mechanism.
Yeah. Whoa, that was so smart. Maybe you. Oh man, I was ready to get on my knees and kiss his feet if he managed to pull off a Sunstrike onto the orb play like that to get the kill on Samael.
It's funny, it's not a bad prediction as well, because if you look at like Samael's earlier games on the puck, normally he'll do very short jumps, so he stays close enough to the creep wave that he doesn't really lose out in the experience, but that's actually a longer jump for him that he actually overshot the Sunstrike position.
Yeah. Bulba, as kind of predicted, is doing pretty well for himself as an offlane lone druid. He's level 3. This is also going to be a rather different game, by the way, where Evil Geniuses will actually have the better late game, and yeah, they should have the better late game. Invoker scales quite well for LGDs, particularly the maybe Invoker, but I think they still are going to feel the pressure to be pushing into EG at 35 minutes. And they've got the good heroes to do it.
Yeah.
Exort Invoker plus Lycan.
Step starts the boulder in, but Samael actually moving aggressively up the hill. The kick's still going to connect, and that's first blood going the way of LGD. But of course, that was the story in game number 1. The story in game number 2 will repeat, but will the end result?
You can't ever ARB for CS, I think, if September is off the map. It's just like, it just leaves you without your escape mechanism in that scenario. Like, Samael played it right. He actually ran back into the Invoker, taking a lot more damage, but dodged the roll-in from the Earth Spirit. And that gave him, like, a very sliver of chance to be able to do something. But, again, it was more of a larger strategic, like, or rather tactical error by him, not having that illusory orb.
Keep my eyes up on top lane. This is the second time that LGD have put down this Observer Ward. In game one also LGD chose to play the Dire side, so they're on Dire side again here in game number 2. Whoop, Zhao wait. Well, you knew it was a hard lane for him, and it's gonna actually not remain hard because AUI doesn't get down the stairwell fast enough. So open wounds doesn't come out, it doesn't slow down Zhao wait, and Zhao wait, okay, they'll pull him back over. Now they can go for the open wounds with Infernal Blade, Fear. He's got that set of blast sitting inside of him as well, so they got that bonus damage, and that will be enough to kill off the retreating Zhao wait. Meanwhile, Sunstrike in mid lane maybe gets a solo kill over on Samael.
Oh dear, Samael, I gave you one. Now I gotta start blaming you. I said you're only like, it's acceptable to die once to the 4-position roamer, but now he just solo dies up to maybe, and he's giving up far too much now. He's giving up far too much. That being said, Bulba did dodge a gank at the top lane, or rather, he didn't dodge it. He did get hit by kind of everything, but because they lack enough disables, when they tried to surround Bulba, he just went robble, and then everyone ran away. So, good hero on Druid. Good hero.
LGD again establishing so much ward vision. They put it up around the back of the tier 1 town, but they don't actually see it with their other ward that they had previously. That was watching more of Bulba's movements. But unlike the last game, like, you're using a Phoenix to try and interrupt a Nature's Prophet farming up the side camp. Doesn't happen this time around because Bulba's already 4.5 levels in 5.5 minutes.
Hey, real quickly, Toby had to DC, so if that means if you don't have sound in Dota TV, you have to actually switch broadcasters and then put it back on English, because that's what happens.
Oh, really? That's how that happens. Bulba, Sunstrike, right in the mark. Just have it draw pushing Sep away. And Bulba keeping his bear right on top of him. He'll end up surviving.
Meanwhile, maybe, oh, he's going to be saved by MMY. They actually get the turnaround kill, and maybe he's probably not even going to die. They're going to kill TPD as well.
You got dogs on the field.
Yeah.
That's 2 very quick kills.
Well done. Great rotation by LGD. They actually read that one, I think, like a book. I was following that kill at the top lane, but considering that both Aggressive and Zhao 8 and MMY were on that mid lane, they must have read the rotation of the Disruptor to mid, preemptively position themselves accordingly to counter that gank. So, well played by LGD. And they're getting an okay lead here.
Yeah, things are looking okay for LGD. Like, your Ravage is coming up right now for Zhao wait. Your Invoker's on his way to a Hand of Midas, not really being delayed. You're getting the early Vlads build up here from Aggressive, who actually moved to the jungle. This is allowing Sep to get a lot of levels on the top lane, which Bulba doesn't really want to contest at the moment. Even MMY missed a Arcane Boot 7 minutes in almost level 6. Like, everything's coming the way here of LGD. It's not a huge advantage. Like, they're about 1.5k net worth in front and almost 1k worth of experience in front. Obviously, there's only 7 minutes in, so it's fairly decent. But you still have AUI farming on the bottom lane. That's still a huge part. And you're running a jungle Doombringer. This cannot be underestimated. I'm actually kind of surprised that if he doesn't get a little bit greedy. Like, can it be worth getting the extra points up in Devour?
I think the build for Fear in this game, because it is slightly more farm oriented, is going to be 1-4-2, and then you go for levels of Devour. I'm not sure what it is. I saw a couple pros do this, so I tried it myself. Something about the the second level of Infernal Blade just feels right. It will have that impact, but you don't max it out. You start going for Devour after that. We'll see if he follows that exact build, or maybe he even maxes out Infernal Blade first. We'll have to see. I think it's just not as strong as it used to be, and it's also an ability that is much stronger
PPD
to the game.
Sunstrike. Oh, he actually had aggressive caged for a short period of time. An aggressive brought forward. He got just enough damage in with the combined Sunstrike to get the kill over on PPD, who was TPing out. And as you guys saw, we are transmitting inside the game. We can do no more. Everything else will be on the other end.
Stop spammerinoing.
I just checked. That's what I was there for.
Yeah.
And tier 1 tower. So you kill off the support, you instantly take the tower. LGD now, that advantage which wasn't, it was pretty decent before, is now pushing over 2k net worth.
Yeah.
The experience isn't following it as much because LGD is grouping up a lot when they do this, which is the only thing I'm saying I put a question mark on. But you haven't blown Ravage, you're still letting Earth Spirit actually get money on this top lane as well. It's not just levels, it's the fact that no one is contesting this top lane. EG are just happy to passively sit and farm.
Yeah, they've got to hit their, like, they can fight LGD, but it's got to be at some very specific timings, and they can't fight too early, just because this, you saw the way, like, LGD, when they win a fight, they'll always be able to punish you by taking an objective. It's just the nature of Lycan and, in some ways, the Exort Invoker. So you have to pick and choose your timings really well. One of them is definitely PPD has to be level 6. So that is going to be coming in 15 seconds, where he'll pick up the Tome and finish that up, because they have to get the Dream Coil Static Storm combination, and then from there, even then, I'm not sure if they want to contest, say, like LGD 5-man top or bottom lane. I'm not even sure even then that EG want to contest that. They might want to wait until, like, you have finished Armlets, maybe even wait the Desolator, and maybe wait for the Veil and Blink Dagger of the Puck. There is definitely a very large peak for EG that they will be able to stand up against LGD once they reach those kind of items.
Yeah, but that peak's not now. Like, Xiao Wei completes it before mech, he's got Ravage ready. Like, LGD instantly grouped up. Like, first they look towards Roshan, but they've got the Vlads also on Lycan. They want to take, they would love to get a kill over an AUI, but that's not going to happen. It looks like they've read it. EG's backing out, the bolt's going to come forward. They find Fear with a silence on him. He already got the Scorched Earth off, but that is a very, very angry dog. They're going to get one kill on the Doombringer and instantly move into the tower.
Yeah, they go to old-fashioned +1 gank, but this is a slight variation on it, because because they have Lycan, they can actually do both, right? That's just the nature of Lycan. He's able to do Roshan really early on, so maybe can take the tier 1. The rest of the team takes Roshan. So even in this scenario where Evil Geniuses actually did anticipate this Roshan, and they positioned themselves accordingly. You saw AUI with the early TP out up to the top lane. This is the right play. Normally this trade-off makes you even, but actually it's heavily in the favor of LGD, simply because they're faster pushers. They'll threaten the tier 2. They'll also get Roshan and Aegis into their hands. So
they're actually, not just threaten, unless EG come back. In fact, looks like EG is just going to go for a trade-off.
Yeah, because what they want to do is, they're probably not going to get the tier 2, because LGD will start mass teleporting. They don't want to trade tier 2 for tier 2, but they want to at least force some TPs back.
Yeah, well, they managed to do that. But the tier 2 tower on bottom lane is very low, down to just sub of 300 HP.
Yeah. Because the difference is, if you TP back first from Evil Geniuses, then you are sitting yourself in a position where LGD can choose to 5-man into you still and force that fight, and then take the tier if they win that fight. And we are kind of agreeing that the LGD are a bit stronger of the team right now, and it's dangerous for Evil Geniuses to fight. They are, again, want to be able to try and draw this game out when they have a lone druid on their team, that kind of third greedy core. They want this game to stretch out as much as possible, and fighting always speeds up the game.
Oh, they're bowling forward. AUI trying to killing off some wolves, and now with Dream Coil, Sumail might make Sep as well as aggressive think twice about this fight. AUI into that rage, looking to kill off the Earth Spirit, and they're able to do so. No real follow-up yet. In fact, it looks like Fear was staring down the Invoker. Aggressive will go into dog form, so doesn't care if he gets doomed up by Fear. In fact, with this ultimate form, he should be able to kill off Fear. They body block out the pass perfectly. Fear trying to juke it around the tree line. Unsuccessful at doing so.
Yeah, PPD was like, oh, here, I'll set up the kinetic field for you, but Fear didn't actually run through it like he was supposed to, and tried to run down instead and then realized his mistake a bit too late. Fear was doing the really correct play, though. He, like, despite his team being able to get the pick on the Earth Spirit and also seeing the Lycan, he didn't try and doom the Lycan. He didn't try and contest Lycan first. He wrapped around and looked for maybe, to doom the Invoker, and then the rest of the team could try and collide on the Lycan, but wasn't able to get maybe he was playing a little bit too far back, and then because of that, then they instead collide on the Doom, and they get a turnaround kill. So,
meanwhile, Bulba not being involved.
Yeah,
Farming up top lane, running his minus to his heart's content. He's got 1,300 gold,
but nowhere close to Evil Geniuses being at the kind of strength where they can take 5-man fights. And
initiation over on mid. AUI is going on Zhao Wei. You've still got Ravage available. The mech will be already burnt from Zhao Wei. So will the Magnetize. So LGD, they keep the pressure going. They've got Ravage. Like, why stop? Aggressive doesn't have his ulti, but he's got the Aegis Immortal behind him. Seb's ready just to kick and boulder down too. With the Sentry Wards being planted, they actually get a small little bit of vision here over on Sep as AUI. Okay, it will be a straight kill on the tower from Lycan. AUI try to mess with it a little bit. But EG just refused to fight, and rightly so.
This is the beauty of... this is kind of like Dire Side, but it's invading the Radiant jungle, and it's forcing fights in that area. Is that when you're able to draw even or even win, like LGD did, they hold on to this map control, they hold on to the tempo of the game. They then are also controlling the mid lane simply because the way that their heroes are able to split from time to time. Bulba wasn't aggressively pushing out the top lane, so there was no trade-off there. They were able to put pressure on mid without losing their tier 2 top. They still had control of the Radiant jungle. It just limited EG's option. What do they do from there? Do they go into their jungle? No, because LGD is just going to cut across and catch them.
PVD gets the glimpse over on Sep. He doesn't have mana for the ultimate, so he'll rely on Sumail controlling up this Earth Spirit. Or AUI also rotating over with the open wounds. Earth Spirit was just left behind. There was 2 observer wards that were placed down on that bottom river as well as inside the jungle.
Yeah.
And that makes it happen. But on top lane, it's still the inevitable. LGD all push in. They will take tier 1. They will take tier 2 tower. And EG will not fight.
It's kind of what, I've kind of thought of this term a couple times. Never brought it into a broadcast, but it's kind of like what's called forced errors in baseball. There are unforced errors and forced errors, right? That's just like LGD. That's kind of like in a way a forced error in that they're like, okay, that's fine. That's unacceptable. It's like EG just made kind of a good play. They found a small pickoff, but it doesn't really mean anything. The overarching strategy for LGD is still quite sound. They're still getting everything they want.
Top lane, that's a nice ulti out from PPD. Aggressive blocked in there. Zhao Wei at the neighborhood.
Nice
Doomed, however. So there is no Ravage. The mech is still available and Aggressive waiting out this Dream Call. Zhao Wei wants to help him off. There goes your Aegis Immortal popping. Of course, Lycan not the greatest one for this because now there's no dog form, but Zhao Wei, the Doom is wearing off, and EG have to back up.
So they're just going to get the deny in the tier 2 tower. If that was...
LGD can keep going though. Like, they don't have to stop. You've still got Ravage. In fact, Zhao Wei blinks forward, looked for the opening over on Sumail. They didn't really get the controls. The meteorite from Maybe doesn't really connect properly, but they triggered the mech and they keep the push up.
Yeah, I guess technically they can keep going. I didn't expect this.
There's no Doom. There's no Doom. There's no Dream Call. There's no Storm. Like, all of your major ultimates are gone. You can say goodbye to Infest as well. Just to help try and get rid of that creep wave, but a new one has now arrived to replace it.
Man, there's still another 1,000 gold needed for the Relic. LGD actually still have so much time, even if they back out from this push now.
Oh, that bear, it's on the back of Aggressive. They're already going to Shallow Grave. MMY's okay with this. Okay, the Glimpse, maybe they're not okay with this. Aggressive got dragged back. MMY, he starts the weave. Now the Ravage will go. Fear losing all of that armor. He's going to evaporate. The bear's also not very healthy either. But that is going to be at least one hero down. Do they lose anything else? In fact, okay, bear actually dies. It ties to Magnetize.
Yeah, now with the Urn, Aggressive is actually decently healthy again. They can keep on going forward. The spam of Evil Geniuses is just not enough. It's just
some
Sumail.
Ulti up too. He'll just go straight back in.
Oh, what a beautiful! He's got a
great storm for the moment, but doesn't really do enough. The mech charges up. Zhao Wei with the anchor smash. They're losing their damage, but you did kill off the Lycan. The Rax, they might try and go for more the boulder forward. Sumail's already managed to get himself away to safety. And now with a glimpse, maybe you can't just retreat away from a disruptor.
Or
Instead,
maybe
he'll
you
go
can.
into the invis. They don't have detection on them. They can't find the kill. They would love to have some, but maybe he's not the fastest hero ever. In fact, what they do, they're going to blink forward. They're chasing over
Wait, too early.
the Earth Spirit. MMY starts his TP. Xiao is in the neighborhood. MMY will TP out, and you can say goodbye with the boulder TP from Sep. He's also away.
Not like this, AUI. They had a free kill. I mean, they had definitely had a kill on the Dazzle. If he stays inside of the Infest Bomb until Sumail actually jumps forward and then he pops out, he gets the extra damage on those two heroes. He beats Dazzle down before the TP completes. I mean, you need every single pickoff you can get because, again, there is still so much more time needed for Bulba to complete his Radiance. And the Radiance is not the be-all, end-all for Evil Geniuses. It's just the beginning of when they can actually 5-man and possibly defend against LGD. But even then, they may still be too far behind in gold that the Radiance may not make the difference.
They're about 8k behind overall. Hilarious enough, EG are winning on experience by 100, but it's... well, a win is a win.
You know what's really impressive? I think the skill and decision making of teams has actually gotten so much better in the last year, and I think examples. You can see examples in just this series. The way that Evil Geniuses saw the opportunity to go high ground and take a lane of Rax so early on in that last game, and then same thing kind of here for LGD. They actually went high ground.
That kick's not going to connect from Sep, so it would have been a pretty difficult gank to get.
Yeah,
because they don't, with the Dazzle behind, you're not really saying I got a lot of damage. In fact, now the Earth Spirit is going to get punished. He's got Boulder up in 1 second time. He turns with a kick with the silence, the Boulder away. MMY just holding Sep's hand, but he needs his 4-star. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, not going to be enough. Now Aggressive makes his way over. The perfect wall from PPD keeps Aggressive out. Now sees Sumail in the tree line, but because he took so long to get there, the TP out is successful. Xiao will blink forward. PPD will have to sacrifice himself on the altar to LGD. And LGD, well, they don't have an Earth Spirit, but they are grouped up with level 3 Necrobook with Ravage up. They don't have a creep wave going in. Like, even if they push through mid, the rotation to the top is not the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah, Invoker's pretty fast, though, and he's not really threatened by AUI, so he can pretty quickly push out this lane and return to mid with the rest of his team. They're going to be waiting on Roshan. So LGD will start taking control of the Radiant jungle, pushing out bottom and middle as a priority so they can get some really good vision of what Evil Geniuses are up to, and when Roshan spawns, they'll have every bit of information they need to be able to take Roshan in complete peace of mind. They also almost have Ags on maybe. That's a pretty significant upgrade.
Yeah, maybe he's Invoker. We've already seen Invokers throughout this competition just go completely immortal because they just can't be touched. But the same thing can also be said about Lifestealers. Both AUI and maybe haven't died, but that's about to be corrected over AUI. They just initiate. He's still got Rage available as well as TP, but whoop, hello. You can say goodbye to the Lifestealer.
He did a good armlet toggle when they defended base. Unfortunately, couldn't make that one work for him.
Oh, that's AUI's first death. Hasn't got any kills.
Really?
Yeah, that's his first death.
Pretty good.
There's actually only 2 heroes right now, or 3 heroes actually, because Bulba hasn't died as well.
It says a lot about how well LGD have controlled the map, and like doing certain things like pushing aggressively really early on does limit the farm of DG because they have to 5-man defend. They're sitting inside their base. They're not farming efficiently, right? It says a lot about the fact that despite LGD not getting many kills on Life, so they're not getting many kills on the Lone Druid, they're actually still significantly under farmed. LGD are just playing like really good pace control in this first 25 minutes, and now all that's left is essentially LGD dealing out the finishing blow, which should be coming. They've got like this really big window too, because again, the Radiance is not the be-all, end-all. Evil Geniuses don't even scale that quickly going into late game, right? There's still some pretty mid-game heroes in like Puck and Lifestealers, so they can still
has to relieve the pressure by getting a couple of pickoffs across the map before LGD can just group up as 5.
Yeah, like LGD still have certain things like the BKB on Lycan, which are significant. Like obviously Invoker's a beast going later into the game as well. So there's still like so much time for LGD. This isn't like a really pressured scenario.
They see Zhao Wei, but they don't see Sep in the tree line. So with a follow-up kick, maybe Zhao Wei. Yep, he's got space for the Ravage. AUI wants to kill the Force. I found Samel so low. Sep will jump back in again, turning on the Magnetize. Samel was able to dodge it, however. But the rest of the help is coming in. It's a nice ulti out from PPD, so at least it's 2 down for LGD. But maybe he's going to go to work, dropping down that meteorite. Samel able to dodge it thanks to the phase shift. As aggressive, out here he is. The double kills up. Maybe to the front lines, keeping Bulber and PPD out. So a 2-for-2 trade-off. You kind of lost your bigger one, however, if you're EG. You lost AUI.
Yeah, that was a bit awkward. The fact that he managed to get that Ravage off and stall things up long enough for the rest of LGD crew to get there, and now this is a fight that LGD have essentially drawn even right outside the base. They could have chosen to try and go uphill, but I think that's, again, unnecessary. Without the Lycan ult, without your Necronomicon, that's just a risk you shouldn't have to take. They could do it earlier at like the 18-minute mark, right, when they went high ground against the tier 3 without Necronomicon 1 being up and without Metamorphosis, but that's just because EG didn't have the tools to really be able to punish you that well. But Bulba is finally becoming a threat. We saw that with the way that he managed to get the root on Maybe and started dealing out damage to him. So they gotta start respecting the Evil Genius's full 5-man a bit more. Yeah.
Well, maybe that's when LGD start looking for their roaming kills. At the moment, Samel is staring down the barrel of mid, finds aggressive, and does not want to do anything with aggressive. Bulber is the only one that's right behind him. They can't need Fear to make a play, but that's the reason why they're smoked up too. PPD as well as Fear went hunting inside their own jungle. But LGD just bailed out. Like, they got 5 players again up on top lane. It's the lane they want to go down. It's the one where the tier 3 tower doesn't exist, so you can send Necro units. You can send walls. PPD, okay, I don't know if he's just trying to save his ass right now, which actually it looks to be exactly the case. They see the movement coming out from aggressive moving forward. Sunstrike assistance, okay, it hits PPD. Doesn't find the kill in aggressive, he's actually hunting the dogs. They're going to Yule Scepter up actually the dog and not the hero, and that allows Bulba to resummon.
Just like 4/5 of his HP, that one Sunstrike.
No, this Disruptor isn't really that far. He's got a Magic Wand and Tranquils. Everything else is pretty consumable.
Yeah. PPD, living that classic hard 7 life for Evil Geniuses.
He doesn't actually have 2K network.
Yeah, I was going to say hard 6, but then I saw 2K compared to the 5K on the LGD supports, and I was like, all right,
7, man.
Time to downgrade to level 7.
Samel's coming out looking for an opening. He's got a lot of movement speed, and he'll find
great.
MMY, which is probably the
those
primary
supports.
target with the jump out. They've got the silence on MMY. He'll get his Shallow Grave off, and this will actually buy time for the rest of the support to arrive. The kick onto AUY. The Storm is nice, but it's not doing enough work. They need more. The Doom's on Xiaowei, keeping that Ravage out. So LGD, they've lost their team by controller. Xiaowei's going to go down. MMY, where is that denial? Where is that hope? Nope, there you go. Xiaowei will pop. And Bulba's bare, well, it will get mopped up. Aggressive with his BKB protection. MMY, Shallow Grave TP out. He'll end up surviving as well. Actually isolating Fear between aggressive as well as Maybe. And PPD can't really help that. In fact, Sep with the kill secure rock kick, able to find the pop. And PPD, yep, you can't stop aggressive. You can send him back a little bit further in time and space, but the kill still happens. LGD coming out on top of that fight with a 3-for-2 trade-off.
Man, that was
Scrappy?
That was scrappy as hell. The right idea was there for Evil Geniuses, with Samel going straight for the back line, like ignoring whatever heroes were on the front and going straight for the Dazzle and the Earth Spirit. If he gets the right kind of jump, where he's able to blink in, hit the silence, they get the nukes, they pop the Dazzle, they finish up the Earth Spirit in time, then that initiation looks really good. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get those kind of disables out there on the Dazzle. He gets the Shell Grave off on himself, and then things will inevitably go bad from there. Another thing was that AEY, I think, got silenced by the Earth Spirit and actually ended up dying before he ever popped Rage. And obviously you can't just go an entire team fight without popping a Rage. So Evil Geniuses very clearly lost that on the initiation front, and even though there was the right follow-up, like Fear dooming the Tidehunter successfully, getting that kill.
LGD, that was getting de-watered. PPD, you won't be able to finish the job, however. AUI's in the neighborhood. They haven't finished the job. The ward will actually stay alive. barely.
Damn it, PPD, don't even start to run. You just keep right-clicking. You just accept your fate immediately. And maybe, just maybe, you get that ward.
Oh, he doesn't get it.
It's fine.
And now LGD, without actually taking that fight, like, you got 1 kill, but they've still got all their big ultimates up.
Yeah,
and that's the big
remember, PPD has been tactically feeding this whole entire game. He's intentionally kept his levels very low. He's got just a couple of seconds for his death timer, so he'll be back in time for his team.
Oh, there's your initiation. Goes over on Fear. Remember, all that armor is upgraded right now for LGD, so they'll survive a very long time. Oh my boy, aggressive. Does so much damage, but it's not enough to kill off that very tanky Doombringer. Remember, Objective-Based Gaming, they're here for the melee racks. The Storm from PPD will try and keep him out. That one wall for the backline is able to finish the job, however. Aggressive on the shallow grave. He doesn't have Aegis the Immortal, so Yules him up. There's no more save. They accept the fact that Lycan is down. Successful TP. Nope, Savage Roar will cancel that one. So you can say goodbye to your Earth Spirit as well, but LGD, they do take the melee racks on top.
Yeah, a bit of an overextension, I would say, in some regards there from LGD. Aggressive thought he would be able to kill the Doom, and blows his whole Metamorphosis and BKB chase in order to try and get that kill. Isn't successful, and the whole entire time, because, you know, it was a chase combined with objective taking, the rest of Evil Geniuses felt no pressure. So, for example, Samael just kind of sat there waiting out his time. It eventually got a Dream Coil as soon as that BKB was down. He combined that with a Static Storm. There's no opportunity to Ravage, and if there's no Ravage, there's no counterplay from LGD whatsoever. Still, though, they got the melee racks. It was an expensive racks, though. Yeah. LGD did feed a lot back to Evil Geniuses in return, both gold and experience. So they got to be careful. Can't afford too many more of those trades.
They still hold the advantage, and through at least getting the racks, they know if they can get a good pick off next time, they're also going to be looking good. And it's still, there's no... Okay, well, PPD, well, that's just really, really bad for him. Like, he was coming in to put down just an aggressive Observer Ward, but there's already a dire Observer Ward down from LGD in front of the pit.
Nah, man.
So they saw his movement.
He's forcing Metamorphosis and keeping his levels low.
Yes. Yes. This is exactly what the
low
case
death
is.
timers. Low death timers.
Yeah, let's just give a shout out to Melk as well, who again may have his ward of just...
Oh, we had a Melk. What was the?
It was not a legit Melk award.
Yeah. What's the actual record on Melk?
You must go 0 for 20, 0 kills, 20 deaths.
Yeah.
Assists don't matter. Assists, like, if you get like 0 kills and 20 assists, you get like the semi Melk. Like, it's the very... Well, not impressive, Melk.
September had a pretty prestigious run at the Melk Award. Let's put it that way.
But no one's ever replicated it, because no one beat that much in one game and still expect that team to win. Why do you think he went to management? Why do you think Veggie replaced him with Fox?
No comment on that one. Meanwhile, in the Roshan pit.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in Spain, Aegis the Immortal will actually go into the hands of the Lycan once again. Zhao Wei is going to find AUI, but that's not going to stop anything.
Yeah.
AUI just wanted to farm up a little bit more, and now he's got that Desolator up and running. So AUI's damage is getting better and better as time goes on, but I'm kind of worried he's going to get massively controlled. Speaking of that, PPD, able to control aggressive. He BKBs.
You can't cage the beast.
Just to ensure he gets the kill over on PPD. That's now 0-8-10 over on the Disruptor.
Yeah, the Static Storm is actually pretty important for controlling the Tidehunter and the Invoker, because neither one of them have BKB, so obviously they're pretty well affected by that AoE. So it's not like the worst trade-off in the world to blow your BKB to get that hero out of the team fight, but it does limit you. It means that you have 20 seconds to go for your push, and you have to immediately back away as soon as that timer is down, because then you just have a BKB and Necronomicon on cooldown. So just get some chip damage on the tier 3, back out after a decent amount is dealt.
And Zhao Wei really just wants him to hit him. Like, they get a Doom already, and well, aggressive! Too much damage being taken by him. Samael, he'll get a 2-man Dream Call. Seb's actually going to trigger it by bouldering out of the Dream Call. Zhao Wei's low. He's got the cheese available. They have to buy him time. The Shallow Grave's going to be able to do that, and there's your cheese expenditure. Samael's now in 2 teams. You also will avoid the EMP, but the Ravage hits Samael perfectly. In fact, it's all of EG in that mid lane, with the Magnetize up as well. Is there still enough damage? With a kicking Boulder in the back end, the Sunstrike's going to be on target, so maybe we'll find that kill in the chaos of this fight. fight. Fear wants to get more. They move over towards the Earth Spirit. He's got Boulder back up as well as the kicks to be ready for even more control. As in comes Sumail, the perfect silence. The Shallow Grave on the Invoker maybe needs more time. Forced afterway, the Shadow Wave, and now he's actually going to do it with a Ghost Walk. They're not going to find him. Xiaowei will probably die for this one. The glimpse back over on Seb. He can't hold himself out, and that's me a double kill right there for AUI.
Nice jump forward to block the Earth Spirit attempt at a roll out, but we're just going to see one more kill on MMY most likely.
Well, he's still got Shallow Grave and another heal.
Sumail's got him. Blink forward, Yules if necessary.
Silence, stick charges in 1
Yules
second.
kill him. Yules kill him for the style points.
He could have Shivas killed him as well.
What did I say, Toby?
Meanwhile-
Something timer.
Meanwhile, in France, top lane is being pushed.
It's fine.
Sumail has to come back to defend this, and that actually means that EG's attack, like, they can push the tier 2 tower a little bit, but you got Lycan as well as Invoker up. This isn't a guaranteed hit. And the fact that maybe he survives, like, he's the big man. He's the guy that hasn't died. A 4-0-10, he'll walk in, he'll hex over on AUI. Aggressive's already gone dog form, plus Necro units, and the Cold Snap. There's no mana on AUI to even rage. But who ending the Tornado? It catches out Fear. They thought they could do it with 2. The cores were up. They lost them out because he TP back to defend the top, and now you lose 2 big cores in the middle lane to get a kill on a tier 2 tower.
Yeah, it's just seeing a nice friendly game of catch between the two teams as they throw the game back and forth. LGD pushing too far forward, and they just stuck around too long in that mid lane. As soon as Disruptor was about to be back, they forced the fight, and now Evil Geniuses get caught in the mid lane. AY unable to get Rage off.
They smoke inside the base.
Well, yeah, they
allow it.
I mean, they don't have a life stealer, Toby.
Yeah.
They can't afford to lose this second lane of Rax.
They're going to loop around. PPD's going to try and get the perfect storm.
Yeah, they have to get some crazy ass initiation here.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah,
At least they got
LGD
some
keeping
ways to
themselves
survive.
really spread.
You got Crimson Guard as well as Pipe over on the Doombringer. There's a couple of things you can work with here. PPD with the Observe Ward. Okay, Xiaowei blinks up. They found PPD, waiting for him. Aggressive already BKBs. The Doom was triggered on him, and maybe it's going to create a little bit of space there with the Tornado. So PPD will die a little bit further to the north.
But if they kill
The
maybe,
Dream
it's all
calls
worth
over,
it.
Maybe they can try with the Entangle. They force off and out, but the Ravage, kicks off perfectly, and the follow-up kick from Seb. Fear and Sumail just have to sit there and wait it out. They're still looking for a bigger opening. They've triggered the Crimson Guard up. So they want to try and fight, but Aggressive's also in the same kind of mood. He's got Necros in 3 seconds time. MMY forced to self-grave at the moment. But now Aggressive. The Necros are up, and you can say goodbye to Fear. And you can probably say goodbye to Bulba too. Tornado, he'll dodge that one, but they're right behind. The Ice Wall is there, and it will be a grave of a lone Druid. AUI has gone rogue up near the top rune, but he's going to have trouble at home.
Yeah, that's pretty much the game. They've got 60 seconds left on all 3 of their, on 2 of the 3 of their cores, so yeah, LGD are just going to pop up the whole entire thing and push this to a game number 3, so that's pretty exciting. I think this game was, again, not a whole lot of mistakes on LGD's side, a little bit more on EG. For example, like, two times, Toby, the most... Was he actually the most farmed? I'm going to just say, the most farmed hero in the game. They had the opportunity to pick him off, and he escaped because there was no counter vision. That is a very serious mistake by Evil Geniuses. They let maybe get away.